Okay, I wanted to share with you guys my mod that I'm working on is the reason that I actually made the Merc Forge in the first place was because I was getting frustrated at how long it was taking me to like just do one guy. Like I think it took me, I mean, getting past the learning stage and just actually doing it. I think it took me like 15 minutes, 20 minutes just to do one guy, and I wasn't even happy with him either. And that was without the eyes or the mouth working or anything like that. That was just to get it in there, and copying all the folders, everything like that. I mean, and I feel like I'm pretty quick, generally speaking. So like that's way too long. If I was gonna do a total conversion and I'm gonna replace everything, which is a wild goal that I don't know if I'll reach, but if I was gonna do that, it felt really difficult to do that with that kind of time consumption. And so I started looking around and I realized there weren't really any like more modern tools, or at least I didn't find any that kind of did everything for you. And at work, I have to deal with AI a little bit, and so I'm not a very good programmer at all. My background's in web design, and I wasn't even very good at that either, frankly. But what I've got here is pretty cool because if you come in, you look at Vic here. Obviously, it's a little goofy, I know. The eyes are very big, but there's a reason for that because it works out pretty well with the blinking animation. And again, I know the mouth is a little bit goofy too, right? It's not perfect, especially the chin. I couldn't quite figure that out. And I kind of got to a point where I was like, well, it's good enough. This is a really ambitious mod that, again, I don't think I'll make it all the way through. I do think I'll make it at least halfway, though, and like to a reasonable point that's playable and, interesting, I hope. But, these are my guys, and again, a little bit goofy on the mouth, but I think it kind of fits the aesthetic. I was going for that kind of Fallout meets Jagged Alliance thing, and you can see here. Yeah, that's loud. So yeah, there's Vic. No. Sulik. All these guys. I'll eventually fix the whole thing. But you can see they're the ones in the game there, and if I go back to Antigravity, which is a Google version of what I'm doing here, I have this big master plan. It's very long. Spent a good bit of time figuring out what to do and how to make it work. But now that it's figured out, the actual process of making the modifications and going through modifying all these guys, you see I've done those three. And so I'm ready to move on to the fourth. And so it's just explaining to me its thought process right now. It's following the plan and things that we've laid out for it. So I wanted to do Cassidy here. This is pretty self-explanatory. Replacing Grizzly. I'm going to be doing custom backgrounds, so I gave a list of that already, and it's drawing from them as is appropriate based on his lore to the best of its ability. And then, again, same thing with attitude based on lore to the best of its ability, given a given attitude exists. Starting price, it's trying to kind of figure that out based on some guidelines that I gave it. Biography, I kind of defined a writing style, gave it access to the wikis for Fallout, and kind of went through it a little bit. I did a couple iterations of it to kind of get the tone somewhat reasonable. These are all going to be first drafts too, so like I just kind of wanted to do a rough draft for me, and then I want to come back and kind of actually put a little bit more of a personal touch on it. But I think it's really, really good for just putting a framework down. I mean, like how long it would take me to do all this by myself is insane. But anyway, it's all done. I'm just explaining this right now, and also looking at it to make sure that I'm satisfied with it. Because a lot of times I do make edits on the first three. I made at least 2 or 3 edits on each one. Although I'm honestly pretty satisfied. Maybe his strength should be a little bit higher, but for the purposes of the demonstration, I'm just going to leave it alone. I'll fix it on my second round of reviews. I do like iterative processes, so I'm gonna say yes to his stats. Background. And so now it's going to try and generate the prompts again based on guidance given to it in the design document that I built. And so it's using Gemini to do that. And then once you use Gemini, now it's using like a specific branch of a local stable diffusion that I have running on my my graphics card. And you can see it looks kind of goofy here, right? But it's a little bit better here. Still though, I'm not super satisfied with this one. Also, should be black background. So I can't remember if it does that in another step or not, though. It's very late at night, and I've forgotten. But I'm on call, so I'm just doing whatever. So yeah, I mean, while that's loading, I just kind of want to show you guys at least how it works. I'm just gonna say yes to it just so I can figure this out because I can't remember if it happens in another step. I think it might be easier to just say yes. But anyway, if it had done a better job of animating it, I'm not happy with that one. I'm gonna have to redo it. But I guess I'm gonna redo a lot of this stuff anyway at some point. So maybe it's better off just to take the first version of everything. I could do that, and then I could just come up with a list of the ones that I really don't like, and then just go redo them. I could also tell them to batch it, and just do all of it without me approving, and then just do another batch and keep going until I was happy. But I was just updating what was done there. So I think this one's gonna be really jacked up though. But you get the idea. Slots here. Yeah, it's jacked up. That black background. It's supposed to be a black background. He's not blinking either. Oh, there it is. The blink looks fine. It doesn't look like Cassidy, that's one problem. But I could have fixed that in the edit. forgot to run the remove background. Yeah, I made a mistake. Okay, but here's the thing. Basically here I'm just explaining to it, reminding it again to not forget to offer me those previews. But I'll do a little more quick fix here. That's more interesting, Cassidy. Oh, don't know what happened there. Guess I gotta go figure that out.